This is much more than focusing on the end product. This is about preserving a formula. This is about keeping a lost art alive. Pur Sang started based off of the aspiration of Jorge Anadon, who was an Argentine restorer fascinated with Bugattis, and in an attempt to acquire one of his own, a copy, the Type 35, while he had it apart for restoration. He built that car basically in the living room of his house. He basically had always dreamed of having a Type 35, and that was how he realized that goal. Besides just being a business, the reason Pur Sang is building these cars is that we're giving people the opportunity to touch and feel and drive something which is otherwise unattainable. The pre-war cars that we reproduce now, are very iconic because they mark the evolution in its finest and most pivotal points as far as the development of the automobile. We focus as much on the process as the final product. We're replicating the techniques used in the 20s and 30s. We build everything under our roof. Everything that we do is in-house, from making our own sandboxes for our foundry to final paint and upholstery. Our most popular car is definitely the Type 35B. That car is undoubtedly popular because it's so iconic in racing history. The Type 35 Bugatti won over 1,000 races in its time, including the 1926 Grand Prix World Championship. In its heyday, it averaged 14 wins per week. It won the Targa Florio for 5 consecutive years from 1925 to 1929. The Type 35 was built from the mid to late 20s. It had an engine putting out 137 horsepower, had a top speed of between 130 and 140 miles an hour. This is a car that was doing all of that at the same time that the Ford Model T was in its heyday. So imagine that most people's familiarity with automobiles was with a car like the Model T that could go 30 to 40 miles an hour, and here you have the Bugatti coming on the scene that can do well over 100. This was rocket ship kind of stuff. There's a certain stigma associated with the word replica, and I think with due reason. Most replicas you see, Porsches and Cobras, are hideous. They have plastic bodies and they have junk engines, and up close any car guy is understandably appalled. However, these cars are much more organic in the sense that they share the same imperfections as the originals have. You can see the tooling marks under the hood from the English wheel when the body was made, the scraping marks on the engine blocks. Everything that the original had is in these cars. Our cars in turn can be ridden hard and put away wet. You push it as hard as it can go, and that's really where you see the soul of the car come out.